Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
Developed for athletes of all sports, PSM's Edge training program is a personalized, high-intensity experience designed to help you outperform the competition. Whether you're looking to enhance your speed, strength, power, agility, or overall fitness, our expert training staff will build a program that adapts to your schedule while maximizing your overall performance. Now accepting athletes 12 years old and up. Get started today. Schedule your free evaluation at psmsports.com/edge.
I started playing football when I was 4 years old in the Cub Football League at Leo. My freshman year of high school, I really started to notice that there was something different about how I played compared to what some other people were playing like. So then I started to develop more. I started to see the results, and then being able to go to Iowa was a big opportunity for me. Being able to train here at PSM has really given me an edge over my competitors. Working on my speed, that's the name of the game nowadays, is who's the fastest guy on the field. Being able to put my body in different positions to allow me to be in the best position during the game. It's so important to not take those days off and just get into a place like PSM where they have flexible hours, and it's good for college athletes to come in and just train.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Game day, the moment athletes live for, the intensity, the passion, the unforgettable plays. And while you focus on the game, Watermark Sports Photo captures the memories. From the heart-pounding action to the game-winning score, our game day photos make your athlete the star. But we don't stop at game day. With our Sportrait sessions, together we dream up poses and take your athlete's story to the next level. Serving Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio, from colleges to high schools and club sports, moments fade, but the memories last forever. Watermark Sports Photo, where every shot is legendary.
At PSM Sports Therapy, recovery is more than getting you back to your sport. It's about building a stronger version of you. Our team of experts uses state-of-the-art technology to build personalized care plans that get you healthy and back in action safely. With no physician order needed, contact us directly to receive top-quality care exactly when you need it. Call 260-266-4007. Visit one of our Fort Wayne locations or go to psmsports.com to learn more.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Parkview Field. Game 2 of our doubleheader here at the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic, and we are getting ready to get game number 2 underway between Blackhawk Christian and Lakewood Park Christian. Of course, Blackhawk Christian from right here in Fort Wayne, and Lakewood Park is out in Auburn, Indiana. I'm Thad Goff calling your play-by-play. Steve Orth is on color tonight, and Matt Jackson is running the camera. Now, this Blackhawk Christian team, they are 2-5 on the season. Blackhawk Christian, of course, great history when it comes to baseball. They've won 3 state championships in the school's history in baseball, but 2-5 so far this season, and the wins against Prairie Heights and Concordia, 7-2 win against Concordia, and other than that, a whole lot of struggles. Now, when you're 1A going up against some really good teams from 3A and 4A, you're going to have some of those struggles, but Blackhawk Christian trying to build things back up as they get ready for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, this should be a good one. Both teams pretty evenly matched. Lakewood Park only has one win on the year against Hamilton, and Blackhawk Christian beat Concordia and Prairie Heights. So pretty equally matched teams. Blackhawk Christian, a very young squad, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, really led by junior Isaac Staten, a very good soccer player, goalie, playing shortstop for Blackhawk Christian tonight. So we're in for a really good matchup. I think this is going to be a pretty close game.
Well, here's the lineup for Blackhawk Christian. Byron Opliger leads things off. He'll be followed by Brady Ellington. Isaac Staten, the shortstop, bats third, followed by Max Warner, the first baseman. Kyler Wood, the center fielder, bats fifth. Right fielder Grant Knutson bats sixth. Catcher Chip Bennett bats seventh. Second baseman Wyatt Knutson bats eighth. And Hudson Amstutz will round out the batting order as he bats ninth. Hudson Amstutz is the left fielder for Blackhawk Christian. Defensively for the Panthers, Andrew Nixon at first base, Cohen Johnson at second, Anderson Moore at short, Tristan Wissing at third. Jonathan Lyons is the left fielder, Landon Stoll the center fielder, and Rig Lindblom is the right fielder. Ethan Young is the catcher, and Colton Kirtley is the starting pitcher for the Lakewood Park Panthers. Lakewood Park, a private school from Auburn, Indiana. I believe they're connected with Lakewood Park Baptist Church. Blackhawk Christian School from right here in Fort Wayne. They are connected with Blackhawk Ministries, the artist formerly known as Blackhawk Baptist Church. Again, they'll take the mound against Colton Kirtley.
Kirtley on the year, 10 innings pitched, give up 21 hits, 25 runs, 15 earned, 14 walks, 20 Ks. He is the ace for Lakewood Park. He's faced a lot of competition.
Scott Bowles is the head coach for the Lakewood Park Panthers. Kevin Kinnison, the head coach for the Blackhawk Christian Braves. And not quite a color rush for this game. It was black jerseys for Leo, gold jerseys for Norwell in the first game. This time it's the quote-unquote traditional home whites for Lakewood Park. And Blackhawk Christian, you can go with gray on the road or you can go with one of your alternate colors. Blackhawk Christian will go with black as they take the field, and Byron Opliger will lead things off. Opliger batting just 100 on the year. He does have a couple of RBIs this season.
He's a freshman, so this was one of the young kids.
First pitch swinging, and he fouls it away into the concourse. Yeah, here at the PSM Baseball Classic, they always ask fans to return foul balls to the dugouts. Our PA announcer tonight, by the way, is Morgan Olson. Jared Parcells, the usual PA announcer here at Parkview Field for the Tin Caps, and also does PA announcing for these PSM baseball games. He's here tonight, but his voice is getting a rest. Did they call that a strike?
That was a ball high.
Yeah, I thought it was high.
61 degrees game time temp. It's a bit cool, though. I don't feel like it's 61, but the wind is blowing off the Three Rivers there.
3-1 the count here on Opliger.
Kirtley has struggled with his location. He has a lot of walks on the year, so he needs a good pitch here.
The 3-1 on the way, swung on and missed. Actually foul tipped into the glove. It is strike two either way.
Yeah, that looked like a belt high fastball there. Byron unable to catch up with it. Big 3-2 count here.
Fly ball in the air to center field. Stoll tracks it and makes the catch. He had to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, made me a little nervous there. Didn't get the other hand up there. You always like to see your outfielders catch it with two hands.
And you always tell your outfielders you want to start going back, start with your drop step. And I think Stoll did that. He just didn't initially track it back as far as he thought he would, but he did end up making the catch. Brady Ellington will stand in. Brady batting .471 on the year, just 1 RBI. Not that runs have been easy to come by this year for Blackhawk Christian. Of course, they did manage to play a couple of close games against Snyder and Columbia City. They got swept by Columbia City in a doubleheader.
Yeah, but they lost in 8 innings, 2-1, so close game for them.
They lost 3-2 to Snyder. That pitch sails on Kirtley.
Just a bit outside. Ellington got 8 hits on the year. He's also on the bump for Blackhawk Christian.
The 2-0 delivery. That is on the corner. Kirtley painted it that time.
He sure did. Catcher did a great job.
That's Ethan Young behind the plate for Lakewood Park. Of course, Lakewood Park being in Auburn, that is, of course, part of DeKalb County, and we've seen the great athletes that DeKalb County has to offer, whether you're talking about the DeKalb baseball team or football or basketball at those two schools, and who knows, maybe we'll see some more of that from Lakewood Park in years to come.
And where they're located, they get a little bit of Northwest Fort Wayne, you get a little bit of Carroll area, you get some Leo area, get a little bit of North Fort Wayne, so
they are a private school, so you don't have to be zoned for Lakewood Park to go there. On the ground towards second, Cohen Johnson gathers it up and makes the play.
Cohen Johnson did a good job. Bobbled it a little bit, was able to make the throw to first, and we got 2 outs for Lakewood Park.
Isaac Staten will stand in. I believe he's a 3-sport athlete. Steve, you mentioned in our pregame, or before we hit the air, that Isaac Staten is a goalie on the soccer team. I know I had Blackhawk Christian's game against Homestead. Of course, when you talk about Blackhawk Christian soccer, you have to mention this. The boys team just won state back in the fall.
Yeah, and then Staten did play on the basketball team, too.
And Blackhawk Christian, of course, they racked up those 3 state championships in boys basketball, 2 under Mark Davidson, 1 more under Matt Roth. Still got a really good program Matt Roth does at Blackhawk Christian as that's sent foul. It was a few years ago that the girls volleyball team won state. That was the team that Allie Boyer was a part of. I think that was her junior year.
Yeah, 1-1 count here, 2 outs. Can Lakewood go 1-2-3 here in the inning?
Staten's a 150 hitter on the season. It looked good, except it went foul and out of play. On the ground, past the mound, Anderson Moore is there, and he makes the play. And looked like Nixon did get his foot back on the bag to complete the putout.
Yeah, Andrew did a good job. His foot came off the base, and he was able to get it right back down to get the 3rd out. So Blackhawk goes 1-2-3 in the inning.
A couple of good defensive plays by Lakewood Park, and it's time to let you know who they've got coming to the plate here in the bottom of the first inning as we go to the bottom of the first. Cohen Johnson, the second baseman, will lead things off. He'll be followed by the catcher, Ethan Young. Pitcher Colton Kirtley will bat third. He'll be followed by shortstop Anderson Moore. Center fielder Landon Stoll bats fifth. Andrew Nixon, the first baseman who you just saw complete that putout, bats sixth. Tristan Wissing, the third baseman, bats seventh. Left fielder Jonathan Lyons bats eighth. And right fielder Rig Lindblom bats ninth. Here's the defense for Blackhawk Christian. They got the sophomore Max Werner at first. Wyatt Knutson at second. Isaac Staten at short, Byron Opliger at third, Hudson Amstutz in left field, Kyler Wood, also a basketball star, plays in center. Grant Knutson is the right fielder. Chip Bennett is behind the plate. I believe that's the son of Blackhawk Christian football coach Bryce Bennett. And on the mound is Brady Ellington for the Blackhawk Christian Braves.
Yeah, Brady Ellington on the year, the senior. He's got a 1.0 ERA, 1 win and 2 appearances. 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. So he can locate it well, and he's on the big mound tonight here at Parkview Field.
They'll rely on him to locate it well against these Lakewood Park Panthers. Lakewood Park just 1 win so far this season, 1-6 overall. It was against Hamilton, losses to Southside, Eastside, Whitco, Lakeland, West Noble, and Garrett. It was a 13-1 Railroaders win that day. And as far as at the plate is concerned, Rig Lindblom is hitting .333 this season with 3 RBIs. Cohen Johnson has 4 RBIs. Colton Kirtley has 9 ribbies this season. He's batting .391 on the year. And you'll see Kirtley coming to the plate this inning. He's set to hit third for Lakewood Park. You'll see Cohen Johnson coming to the plate first.
Speaking of Garrett, they're beating Central Noble 4-1 right now. And in other games, Bishop Luers 11, Snyder 6.
A good answer by Bishop Luers. Last we had heard, Snyder had made it a 6-4 game. Now Snyder started off the season well, and I think you knew that there were probably going to be some hiccups with Brandon Logan and Landon Fry going to college. Those are 2 of the best hitters that played ball in the area last year.
First pitch to strike on the corner.
Cohen Johnson at the plate, and he takes it just off the corner that time. And Snyder certainly does have talent, talking about the Panthers, but, sometimes when you lose 2 of the best hitters in the area, it can be difficult to adjust. And Luers seems to be adjusting well. They didn't start the season off very well. Got blown out by the Leo Lions, and Leo just played here a minute ago and got knocked off 8-1 by Norwell.
Cohen Johnson 1-2 count right now. Leadoff hitter, a freshman, hitting .235.
That one runs in on him. That's ball 2.
Cohen has 4 walks on the year.
Ethan Young is in the on-deck circle. 2-2 the count on Johnson. He takes upstairs to run the count full.
Yeah, good at bat right here by Cohen Johnson to see a lot of pitches. See if he can get a walk or a hit here.
I think I saw some pinstripes on those Lakewood Park jerseys when I was downstairs. You do see that from some high school players. That's well hit into center field. Wood just a couple steps in, and he'll make the catch. Kyler Wood out there in center field for Blackhawk Christian. I'm not sure if he's related to former Blackhawk Christian athlete Callan Wood. Callan played both basketball and baseball for the Braves. Went on to play baseball at St. Francis as Ethan Young stands in for the Panthers, and he pops that one out of play.
Yeah, he was late on that one. Ethan Young on the year, hitting .263, 5 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 double, a senior catcher.
Takes that one on the corner for a called strike, and Ellington ahead in this count at 0-2.
Yeah, he painted the corner excellent right there, like a master painter.
The 0-2 delivery. And Young stays alive.
Yeah, good adjustment there. You can see Ethan Young is choked up on the bat on a 2-strike pitch. He's fouling it off, trying to stay alive here.
Colton Kirtley is on deck. Breaking ball was close, but not close enough.
Yeah, it looked like it was just above the shoulders. Pretty close, though.
Good job by Young staying alive this at bat. We don't get as many fans at the PSM baseball games as we typically do for Tin Caps games, but that means there's a lot less folks around to be hit by the ball. As this ball is flared to the right side, it's going to get down past Knutson for a 1-out single.
Great 2-strike approach there by Ethan Young, just to poke that pitch to right field and get a base hit.
First hit of the game for either side, and Colton Kirtley is next up. We are going to get a courtesy runner.
That's Liam Haberman, a freshman.
Colton Kirtley, the leading run producer for these Panthers.
Yeah, he's got 2 home runs on the year, 2 doubles, 9 RBIs, 9 hits, hitting .391.
He's a big dude standing there in that left-handed batter's box. Looks like the wind has calmed down a little bit. He pulled it, but it's foul.
Yeah, just out in front of that one.
Oh, 0-1 the count on Kirtley.
Ball's in fair territory, so take a little timeout here.
That must have come from the...
I think it bounced off the wall, the foul ball.
Oh, you're right.
Big opportunity here for Lakewood Park to move the runner. Kirtley can get one in the gap.
Throw back to first. It is not in time. Kind of a lob throw from Ellington.
Haberman takes the lead at first.
Scott Bowles just made the call over from first. Throw back again. A little bit closer, but Warner dropped the throw.
Yeah, it looked like Haberman was leaning a little bit there. And Ellington made a good move to first. Max Warner was unable to catch it clean.
Pitch to Kirtley, and that's downstairs. Bennett able to track it down before it wanders too far. And Haberman will stay at first.
Unfortunately, the runner at first did not get a good dirt ball read there. That ball is going in the dirt. You got to take off right away. He would have had second. You would have had a runner in scoring position.
There's the 1-1, and that's fouling out of play.
I don't think anybody's getting that one. That's in sweet box number 3.
Landed in the upper deck, but nobody's sitting there.
I'll go chase it down at the break maybe. Get you a souvenir, Thad.
1-2 the count here on Kirtley. He is battling a little bit here in this at-bat. And he flares this one into shallow right field.
That's
Knutson
trouble.
Can't get to it. Haberman will make his turn. He'll get to third. It's a double for Kirtley.
Unfortunately, it was a bad read by the runner on first. He should have probably been at second base. That guy was not going to catch that fly ball, and he probably should have scored, and Lakewood should be up 1-0. Now, hopefully, Anderson Moore can step up and drive these runners in. Otherwise, they'll leave them ducks on the pond, potentially, if they don't execute.
That's Lucas Tran, who's serving as the courtesy runner for Kirtley. Kirtley is the pitcher for Lakewood Park as Anderson Moore, the shortstop, comes to bat. 1 down, 2 on for the Panthers. And Moore takes that one upstairs.
Yeah, Lakewood Park could have a big inning here if they can get a base hit. They get 2 runs in.
Young, the catcher, singled for the first hit of this inning for Lakewood Park, and then Kirtley followed suit with a double.
Landon Stoll's on deck.
He's going to bunt rather, but Moore waves right over top of it.
Yeah, he missed that opportunity there to get it down. Landon Stoll is on deck for Lakewood Park. Runners on second and third here. 1 out, 1-1 count.
Here's the 1-1. The corner infielders creep in, looking for a potential play at the plate. The pitch is high. You don't want to give up the walk here if you're Ellington, but if he does, it does create a force at any base. Swing and a miss. A breaking ball. It's 2-2. Two delivery, swung on and missed again. Big strikeout for Ellington.
Yeah, now there's 2 outs, and it's up to Landon Stoll. Can he get these runners in? Stoll on the year is hitting .278. He's got 2 RBIs. A base hit, he could double his RBIs and make it a 4 count.
Swing and a miss by Stoll. He was trying to knock that into right field, at least get one of those runners home. Of course, runners will be running with on contact here with there being 2 outs as that ball is foul tipped into the glove of Bennett. And a big pitch coming up here for Ellington. 0-2, 2 down, trying to strand these runners. Swing and a miss.
Nice job by Ellington to get out of it.
Sets him down. Well, the Panthers strand runners on second and third. And we'll be back for the second inning in just a moment here on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Tired of waiting for a doctor's referral to start physical therapy? At Indiana Physical Therapy, you don't need a prescription. You have the power to choose where you go for expert care. Our experienced therapists will help you get back to doing what you love. With over 19 locations, getting the care you need has never been easier. Take the first step towards a healthier, more active lifestyle. Visit IndianaPT.com to schedule your appointment today.
Indiana Physical Therapy, where people go to get better.
No score as we go to the second inning. Lakewood Park, a couple of hits there in the first inning, but they're unable to get any runs out of it. And Blackhawk Christian is going to send the 4, 5, and 6 hitters to the plate. Max Warner, Kyler Wood, and Grant Knudsen. Now, Max Warner hitting .294 on the year with 4 RBIs, but he comes up with the bases empty.
Yeah, bummer there. Colton Kirtley had that nice hit into the gap, and had the runner been on second base when that ball was in the air, he probably would have scored, and he would have a 1-0 lead.
Kirtley back on the bump for Lakewood Park, and first pitch swinging. Warner fouls it off.
High and inside pitch right there.
Of course, there's one more week of the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic. That will be 2 weeks from now. They have this series while the Fort Wayne Tin Caps are on the road. Caps will be back in town next week. They just finished the home series against the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. The Rattlers won that series, swing and a miss. Timber Rattlers are part of the Milwaukee Brewers organization, and Brewers, I don't think they're not leading the NL Central right now, but they always seem to have really good seasons, whether it's under Craig Counsell, the former manager, or the current manager, Pat Murphy. Called strike 3, the pitch gets away, Young throws down, and that will complete the strikeout.
Yeah, good play there by Ethan Young to stay with it. He dropped it, made the throw to first. And 1 out.
Kyler Wood will come to the plate. He's a starting center fielder for the Braves today.
Kyler Wood's hitting .333, 5 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 double.
He takes upstairs for ball 1. Now, Blackhawk Christian's win against Concordia, that was a 7-2 victory. Concordia played Snyder over the weekend in a doubleheader, and even though they got swept in those games, as I recall, they put up 7 runs in the first game, 10 in the second. Of course, Concordia once had a Hall of Fame coach, a coach who's now in the Hall of Fame, Jack Masucci. So we got a 1-1 count here on Kyler Wood. Called strike on the corner. Blackhawk Christians won 3 state championships in baseball. 2 of those were under Mark Harmon, who's now the principal at Blackhawk Christian School.
1-2 count here, 1 out.
Pitch on its way to Wood. And that is just off the plate. Kirtley deals with an even count, and the count runs full.
Kirtley throws a lot of pitches. He's thrown 300 this year. Teams like to run on him. 14 stolen bases.
Slap foul and out of play. Wood's still up there battling. Kyler Wood, also a really good basketball player at Blackhawk Christian. Blackhawk Christian's boys basketball team made it to regionals, but they were knocked out by Delta.
Yeah, they had some injuries that kind of stopped the season, which is
on the corner. Kyler Wood was ready to head to first. Instead, he's going back to the dugout.
Man, that was a nice painted corner.
I think that's, the second strikeout for Kirtley in this ball game,
It is.
both this inning. As Grant Knutson stands in, the lefty on lefty, and he takes it upstairs. Grant Knutson batting .222 on the year.
Definitely off speed there.
Just 1 RBI, 4 hits. One of his hits was a double. And Kirtley's going to step off. Another one upstairs.
Control has been a problem for Kirtley during the year. A lot of walks.
2-0 the count. And Knutson takes upstairs.
Yeah, you could tell on his finish there, he's really off balance, falling off the right side of the mound. Balance is key when you're a pitcher.
The 3-0 does catch the top of the zone. So Knutson will be in there for at least one more pitch.
Chip Bennett is on deck for Blackhawk Christian. He got 2 outs in the inning here. 3-1 pitch here.
Chip Bennett is the catcher. Still has his knee guards on with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. And Kirtley battles back to make it a full count.
Can Kirtley get out of this here? Have back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings.
Popped him up, and that's coming almost right towards us. It did come right towards us, but landed a little short.
Can't believe Matt couldn't have got it. I should have opened the window. I would have caught it. These windows even open, Thad?
They do.
Oh, I could have. Would have lost my chicken tender.
Payoff pitch. That's low, and the Braves have their first base runner of the ball game.
Chip Bennett will come to the plate here.
Chip Bennett batting .143 on the season. Of course, Bryce Bennett, I believe that's Chip's dad, is now the head football coach at Blackhawk Christian, a fairly new high school football program that the Braves have. There's the school I went to, Lakeland Christian School down in Florida. Just started its football program when I was a freshman. Now, that was 2004. First pitch is fouled off. Oh, and 1 the count on Bennett.
Runner on first here.
They got him in a rundown. Throw down to first.
We got a good old pickle.
Knutson slows down, and the rundown continues. Throw back to first, and it's the catcher Young who makes the tag. Ethan Young backing up the play, and Knutson's gunned down on the rundown.
If you're scoring at home, I think that went 1-3 to 6 to 3 to 4 to maybe 2.
It definitely went to 2 at the end. Yeah, those pickles, you got to have just about everybody backing up at some point, so the catcher's going to get his turn depending on how long the rundown goes, and Ethan Young got his turn. And we do have this replay for you here, brought to you by the folks at Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. I'll go ahead and show it to you. Knutson kind of got caught in no man's land. But yeah, it starts with Moore, the shortstop. That's Cohen Johnson on the backup from second base, and then there is the catcher, Ethan Young, well executed by Lakewood Park as they're able to get out of the inning. So no more perfect game for Colton Kirtley, as he did give up the base runner, but effectively it turns into a 1-2-3 inning as Chip Bennett is going to come to the plate to start the top of the third inning. But first we got the bottom of the second coming up, and that is going to see Tristan Wissing, Jonathan Lyons, and Rig Lindblom at the bottom of the Lakewood Park order. Lindblom, by the way, is hitting .333 with 3 RBIs, so he's a good hitter hitting out of that 9-hole. Lakewood Park coming off a season last year where they went 3-18. I beg your pardon, it's Nixon. Andrew Nixon leading things off.
Yeah, he's a lefty hitting .250, 4 hits on the year.
So it's Nixon, Wissing, and Lyons. 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming up for the Panthers.
Real long swing there, needs to shorten it up a little bit, especially on that outside pitch. Looks like Ellington's firing on the corners there.
On the ground towards short, backhanded it short by Staten. That's a long throw. It gets away. I think he would have been safe anyway. It will be an error, but I think they're going to credit Nixon with a hit. He'll take second as the ball goes into the dugout.
So big opportunity here for Lakewood Park. They got another runner at second base. In the first inning, they left 2 runners on at second and third.
And it does go as a base hit, an infield single for Andrew Nixon. The error was on the throw to first as Tristan Wissing stands in. Scott Bowles wants time. Andrew Nixon is his first baseman.
Yeah, he forgot his wristband so he could see the calls. A lot of teams go to the wristband calls where coach calls out a number instead of giving signs.
Pitch to Wissing, and he takes up and in, ball 1.
Yeah, Tristan Wissing using the number 2 pencil to hit.
That's an interesting bat design. Got the eraser on the bat head.
It's good for Scantron tests.
Ellington taking his time as that pitch is slapped foul. Goes off the screen.
Wissing's hitting 111. He's only got 1 hit on the year, 2 RBIs. He's got a good chance here. Base hit, knocks in a run.
Breaking ball in there for a called strike.
Yeah, that's what you call a knee buckler. You saw Tristan Wissing's knees buckle. Let's see if he can battle with 2 strikes with the number 2 pencil.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. And he got a piece of it but fouled it off. That pitch was running in on Wissing's shoulders.
Yeah, that's called using the sword right there. Just fighting it. That was definitely a ball.
Of course, as Rob Schneider once said in Benchwarmers, it's not a sword. That was very early in the movie. 2006 movie. Flared into right field. Knutson makes the catch. That was a big jump off a second by Nixon. He's got to get back, and he does. First out this inning, and that'll send Jonathan Lyons to the plate.
Johnny's hitting 143. He's only got 1 hit on the year, but 2 RBIs. Here's another good opportunity for an RBI.
Swing and a miss. Another good breaking ball from Ellington.
Rig Lindblom's on deck for the Panthers, a freshman.
Rig's hitting pretty well at the plate, .333 this year. That's bounced fair. Charging in is Opliger. Throw to first is way wide. Diving attempt, that's going to score a run.
Excellent job right there, Andrew Nixon. Coach Bowles sent him. Gutsy move. It's basically like a swing and bunt right there.
They do score that as a hit. Infield single. And it gets a run home for Lakewood Park. They lead it 1-0.
Lindblom's hitting .333, 3 hits and 9 at-bats, 3 RBIs. 1 out for Lakewood Park, and they're up 1-0. He's going to bunt.
Pops it to the left side. That's going to get down. Ellington's throw to first is in time. It was on a line, but he moves the runner.
Yeah, great sacrifice bunt there by Rig Lindblom. And now Cohen Johnson has an opportunity to drive in a run.
The leadoff hitter Johnson flew out to center field his last time out, but Cohen's been hitting pretty well this year. Well, the average is 235, but he has 4 RBIs. That's second on the team. An RBI chance here with 2 down. Swing and a miss.
High fastball right there. Cohen Johnson went chasing. Lakewood Park's got 4 hits already.
So far, Blackhawk Christian just 1 base runner. This is Johnson's second at bat. Ethan Young, the first baseman, stands on deck, and that's a ball. Ethan got the first hit.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the inning here. Ellington trying to get out of this.
There's a big hole to the right side of the infield with Knutson covering the bag. Flared into center field. Kyler Wood just a couple of steps, and he'll make the catch.
Kind of deja vu to the first inning. Cohen Johnson flies out to the center fielder to end the inning.
However, Lakewood Park gets on the board. Jonathan Lyons, the infield single. Andrew Nixon scores, and it's 1-0 Panthers. Back after this.
Here, every athlete is one of one. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to become faster, stronger, healthier. That's our commitment. With elite training and expert care, we transform athletes by pushing through challenges and sharing every victory. PSN, you've got goals. We help you get there. Learn more at psmsports.com.
So I tell the truth all the time, ain't got no sympathy for no. I admit, and I'm rich, and I'm lit. Jumping up on stages, I get 200 occasions, but I ain't really the game up we make. Shut they trap down. They see how I made it, I'm the reason they won't rap now. See me out in traffic, make a hater pull his head down. Biggie's OG salute me, a stylist can't even style me. The robbers probably won't get me on my pin, I Lamborghinis. The youngest turn in my city, they try me, I get it cracked. Some of this still would happen if I never started rapping. My people don't.
As we get ready for the third inning, it's time to pay 1 or 2 bills. It's because of our sponsors we bring you these broadcasts. Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eyed Fish. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They'll help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services. It is Lakewood Park leading 1-0 over Blackhawk Christian as we go to the top of the third. Chip Bennett did not get to finish his at-bat last time around, so he'll come and lead off this inning one more time. That's not a number 2 pencil, but got a lot of different coloration to that bat.
I think this is a highlighter.
That one sent foul.
One of those two-toned highlighters. You got the one color on the one end and the other color on the other end.
Yeah, this would be brown on the one end and looks like yellow on the other. Or maybe white, depending on what color the grip is.
Excellent pitch there by Colton Kirtley. He's got him 0-2. You don't want to give him something too good here. You got to get a good waist pitch here. Let's see what he does. Probably high fastball, I guess.
0-2 delivery is downstairs. Blackhawk Christian finally got their first base runner of the game when Knutson walked in the top of the second. But that's it.
Looks like Lakewood Park's got a pretty good crowd compared to Blackhawk Christian.
Yeah, Blackhawk would have had the shorter drive, or at least their fans would have. That pitch is low again.
Looks like Lakewood Park's going to get an arm up in the bullpen.
Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Kirtley battles back for the strikeout. That'll send up Wyatt Knutson, the second baseman. Wyatt is batting. Well, he doesn't have a hit yet this year. He's had 9 at-bats, but no hits yet. He's been on base. He scored a couple of runs, but a swing and a miss there. He's a sophomore. There's a lot of young guys on the starting roster for Blackhawk Christian. Finds himself behind 0-1. Swing and a miss. Well, Knutson seems to have found his command one more time. Excuse me, not Knutson, but Kirtley.
0-2 count here, 1 out.
He just got the strikeout of Chip Bennett. Swing and a miss.
Kirtley sits another one down.
And Knutson still looking for his first hit of the season as Hudson Amstutz, a freshman, will step to the plate.
That's 4 strikeouts, I believe, for Kirtley.
That's what I've got. Hudson Amstutz hitting just 188, has 3 hits and an RBI, but right now he's trying to get the Braves their first hit of the game, and he pops it foul and out of play. Top of the order is due up next if we get that far. Sent foul. Almost a catch by one of the Lakewood Park. I think it was one of their coaches who almost caught that.
Yeah, off the net there. So Kirtley's way ahead in the count, 0-2 right here. Can he get the strikeout and strike out the side?
He's gotten Bennett and Knutson so far here in the third. Swing and a miss. He does strike out the side.
Yeah, Kirtley brought the gas. Strikes out the side.
5th K of the ball game for Kirtley. And with that, we'll get ready to go to the bottom of the third. You're watching the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic here on SummitCitySports.com.
Game day, the moment athletes live for, the intensity, the passion, the unforgettable plays, and while you focus on the game, Watermark Sports Photo captures the memories. From the heart-pounding action to the game-winning score, our game day photos make your athlete the star. But we don't stop at game day. With our Sportrait sessions, together we dream up poses and take your athlete's story to the next level. Serving Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio, from colleges to high schools and club sports, moments fade, but the memories last forever. Watermark Sports Photo, where every shot is legendary.
Well, as we go to the bottom of the third inning, a 1-0 lead for Lakewood Park. It's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Panthers. It's time to hear a few more words from our sponsors. It's because of our sponsors that we bring you broadcasts of high school sports here on SummitCitySports.com. At Ottenweller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process. From bid to build, visit OttenwellerContracting.com. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in our area from ages 5 to 18. Jump on board. Together we can reach the summit. Speaking of volleyball, I believe we've got boys volleyball going on tonight. I'll check in on that score here in just a second. But again, it's Ethan Young, Colton Kirtley, and Anderson Moore due up. Yeah, we've got boys volleyball from Homestead High School. Spartans are taking on Northrop. That game is in set number 3. Homestead's won the first 2 sets, and set number 3 sees the Spartans leading 19-14 over the Northrop Bruins. Speaking of Homestead and Northrop, at the Nancy Ream Border Wars Classic this past Sunday in the girls' game, it was Northrop's Swin Jackson who won the Tom Ream Award. But Homestead's Whitney Ankenbrook matched her point total with 20 as this ball's popped up and out of play off the bat of Young. Warner ran out of room over there at first base. That's right, Swin Jackson and Whitney Ankenbrook each scoring 20 points apiece for Team Indiana as they nipped Team Ohio 86-85 in the girls' game. Unfortunately, the boys did not have any similar success. Not the Indiana boys, at least.
2 balls and 1 strike.
Ethan Young is singled in this ball game. He takes a strike to make it 2-2. He's got one of 4 hits for the Panthers. That breaking ball does not break enough to get the strike call.
Now we got a full count. Colton Kirtley's on deck. He had the big double in the first inning.
The payoff pitch out of play, and Ethan Young will stay in there.
Good battle here by Ethan Young.
On the corner, called strike 3. Ellington with his second K of the ball game.
Yeah, great pitch right there, 3-2 count. Put it right on the corner. Froze Ethan Young.
Colton Kirtley stands in for Lakewood Park. Upstairs.
One ball. No strikes for Kirtley here.
Kirtley doubled his last time up. It's one of 4 hits for the Panthers, but this one's downstairs. And now Ellington trying to battle back. He got the strikeout with Young, but he falls behind to Kirtley. And he takes that one upstairs.
3-0 here. If Kirtley gets on, you'll see a courtesy runner.
Kirtley is, of course, the starting pitcher for Lakewood Park.
You can use a courtesy runner for your pitcher or your catcher.
That's downstairs, ball 4. So Kirtley's been on base twice, and Anderson Moore will come up. I think that's Liam Haberman again.
Lucas Tran running at first. Anderson Moore struck out last time. 1 out for Lakewood Park here.
Throw back to first, and Tron is in there safely. Rather short lead so far for Tron over at first base. Now he takes off. Throw comes down to second in the runner's lane. Oh, and he dropped the ball. Staten had the tag, but he dropped the ball. And now the runner's going off to third. Staten going to make the tag, and there's the out. So Staten gets a second chance to get him off the bases and takes advantage. Now the umpires are going to discuss.
He dropped it on the tag, and the ball came out, and I don't know. He's safe at second.
That's interesting. They're going to send him back because it's interesting that Tron kept going on the play.
Yeah, I don't know if the umpire told him he was out, and that's why he drifted off the base. Blackhawk wants an explanation.
Kevin Kinnison trying to get one. Here's another look at, I beg your pardon, I don't think that replay took like it was supposed to. Here it goes. Yeah, there you can see he loses the ball. There Tron gets his foot back on the bag. Yeah, but he turns like the play's still going.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what the umpire might have said that caused him to leave the base. But obviously the runner thought he was out, and so he took off.
The umpire did signal safe, but at that point he had his back turned. And Tron was on his way to third, but he gets to go back to second. So Lakewood Park leaves a runner on the bases. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2 on Anderson Moore. RBI opportunity here for Moore. Laced up the middle, base hit. And he is going to send him home. The throw is a good one. Chance for the tag. They got him. Chip Bennett stops him at the plate.
Great job by Kyler Wood to make that throw. Good relay.
I couldn't tell at first. I thought Scott Bowles was telling him, get here, get to third, and stop there. But Tron kept on going.
Yeah, it looked like he slowed his momentum down, didn't come around hard. Had he come around hard, maybe he would have scored. It was certainly a ball that you should score from second on.
It will be a base hit for Moore, but he wanted that to be an RBI hit, or at least runners on the corners and a chance to add to the lead. As it is, Landon Stoll is up with a runner on first. Stoll struck out his last time up. That's in the dirt. Kind of kicked against the foot of Stoll, which ultimately requires Moore to stay at first. Well, I think they've gone final at Homestead. I think Homestead boys volleyball just beat Northrop. Clean sweep. 3-0. Popped him up. That's going out of play. And, nice catch by one of the fans over there.
Yeah, banana ball, that's an out.
And the guy in the black sweatshirt, that's the one who caught it. Every now and then you see people you know, but I couldn't tell who that was or if I even do recognize him. Popped him up, and that looks like it's going out of play too, and it is.
Oh, and that guy made an error right through his hands.
That was a Blackhawk Christian fan who almost caught that one. Looked for a moment like Max Warner thought he had a play. Those pop-ups, you can't really judge them right off the bat. You got to read them first, track them first, and then make your call as to whether or not you got it. Of course, Max Warner definitely didn't have that one, even though he thought he did off the bat.
Twos are wild on the board.
Slapped out of play.
That's the second time we've seen a batter take one right up by their face.
Yeah, Stoll just got rid of that one.
Two count, 2 outs, runner on first for Lakewood Park here.
Moore singled.
Fouled it off again.
Had a chance to make it an RBI single, but Lucas Tron got gunned down at the plate. Do plan to show you that replay when we come back from our post-third inning break. Of course, the Panthers would like to give me a replay that's more positive on their side. They've given us a few. Here's the 2-2, and that's down and away, ball 3. Andrew Nixon, who singled his last time up, is the on-deck hitter. Ellington looks the runner back to first. There goes the runner with a 3-2 count, and it's ball 4. 3-2 count and 2 outs. You often see the runner take off in that case. And Nixon will come up. Still a scoring chance for Lakewood Park. What has been an adventurous inning so far. We thought that Lucas Tron was tagged out on his way to second. That was the initial call, and then this ball's flared into center field. Kyler Wood drifts back. He's got it. That was adventurous, but he makes the catch. And with that, we'll go to the 4th inning. You're watching the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic on SummitCitySports.com.
Game day, the moment athletes live for, the intensity, the passion, the unforgettable plays. And while you focus on the game, Watermark Sports Photo captures the memories. From the heart-pounding action to the game-winning score, our game day photos make your athlete the star. But we don't stop at game day. With our Sportrait sessions, together we dream up poses and take your athlete's story to the next level. Serving Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio, from colleges to high schools and club sports, moments fade, but the memories last forever. Watermark Sports Photo, where every shot is legendary.
Well, here's a look at our latest replay brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. This started as a single by Anderson Moore. He was kind of hoping it'd be an RBI single, but Kyler Wood makes the throw, and that's well played by Chip Bennett. You probably don't want to stand that far off the bag, but at least you're off the plate, rather, but he's not blocking the plate. And where he was and where Lucas Tron was, he was in a great position to make that tag. So Chip Bennett gets the out at the plate. And even though Lakewood Park leads at 1-0, Blackhawk Christian's coming to bat here in the fourth. Should be the top of the order due up. Byron Opliger, Brady Ellington, and Isaac Staten. Opliger flew out to center field his last time up. Just a 100 hitter on the year. He's got 2 hits. And he swings and misses at the first pitch. Well, Blackhawk Christian got Lakewood Park off the bases there in the top of the third, but so far they've only had 1 base runner. That was Grant Knutson. This ball's popped up on the left side. Wissing comes in on the grass and makes a catch. They call third base the hot corner, but in this ball game, we haven't seen a lot of hard hit balls to third. We saw a few of them hitting that direction in our first game between Norwell and Leo. A game that saw the Knights win 8-1. Here's Brady Ellington, starting pitcher for Blackhawk Christian. He takes that one off the plate. Indiana Tech is in action in lacrosse against Lawrence Tech. Looks like that game is at a commercial break. Try and get you an update on that one as soon as possible. We're basically right down the road from Indiana Tech. Their lacrosse/soccer field is kind of squeezed right in between Jefferson Boulevard, right in between the 2 lanes of Jefferson Boulevard on the edge of Fort Wayne, edge of downtown Fort Wayne, that is. Ellington, meanwhile, ahead in this count at 3-0. Looked like he was taken all the way, and he takes strike 1. Again, just 1 base runner for Blackhawk Christian. That was Grant Knutson who walked. That's on the ground to short. Moore is there. He gathers. And Nixon gets his foot back on the bag for the out.
Yeah, good job by Nixon to get it right back on there.
Nixon's had to do that a couple of different times. But it's Anderson Moore who makes the throw. Was a little bit offline, but good recovery by Nixon. Here's Isaac Staten. First pitch is up and outside. Staten does find himself ahead in the count. But again, Blackhawk Christian looking for base runners. They've only had 1 so far in this ball game. Well, Staten starts out ahead in this count. It's exactly where he'd like to be. That one appeared to be low, but it's called a strike. Young kept it in front of him. It was only strike 1. Well, now it looks like we do have a score from that Lawrence Tech-Indiana Tech game. It's Indiana Tech winning 5-4, leading 5-4. That game's still in progress. As Staten fouls this pitch off out of play. And Indiana Tech's just right down the road from us. And actually, Indiana Tech baseball played here just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2-2 count here for Kirtley.
Upstairs, full count.
Again, he lost his balance, come falling hard on the right side.
Ellington had a 3-1 count on his last at bat. He ended up grounding out to short. Here's the payoff from Kirtley. Lifted in the air to left field. Jonathan Lyons,
hammered.
He lets it go over his head. Didn't get a good read on it. And into second is Isaac Staten with a double.
Big hit there by Isaac Staten. You've been talking about it, Thad. You said as an outfielder you want to get behind the ball, and that time Johnny Lyons let the ball get behind him. He took a few steps in.
First hit of the game for Blackhawk Christian. And they're only down 1, so this is a big opportunity for Max Warner. Warner has 4 RBIs on the year. He's got a duck on the pond. Flared to right field. Lindblom gives chase, and he cannot make the catch. And headed for third is Warner. A run is in. The Braves have tied this game, and they got our man 90 feet away.
Yeah, fly balls are hurting Lakewood Park right now on the corners. Both outfielders.
I think it's the same thing that we talked about. Lindblom really didn't get a good read on that fly ball.
He is looking into the sun. You see some sun out there in right field, so maybe that could have been an issue. So this is really the first time we've seen Kirtley struggle.
Kyler Wood at the plate. That's a big secondary lead from Warner over there at third. The pitch is a ball. Wood struck out his last time up. On the corner, or top of the zone, better yet. Isaac Staten doubled. Max Warner tripled. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. How interesting that both hits for Blackhawk Christian have been extra base hits. I say that because they were hitless until this fourth inning. Slapped out of play. Wood spoils it and stays alive.
Yeah, 1-2 count here.
If it wasn't for the fact that this is a 2-strike count, I might look at the leads that Warner's been taking over there at third and think that Wood might bunt this, but that's risky with a 2-strike count. Kirtley will step off.
Yeah, and I think the staff let Kirtley know he's getting a big lead, take a step off, hold him accountable. Kirtley needs a good pitch here.
Here's the 1-2.
Good.
He got him. He got him on the corner. But Blackhawk Christian has tied this game. That's a big strikeout to keep it a tie ball game. But on that subject, it's worth showing you the 2 hits that we just had from Blackhawk Christian there in that inning. Isaac Staten first up, and again, not a very good read by Jonathan Lyons. Started back, but not a strong enough step back. Didn't really get a good read on it. And Staten's at second with that double. And then Max Warner with the triple on the very next at bat to get him home. These replays, of course, brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. And Lindblom did start back, but again, Steve, the sun was in his eyes, and it's never easy to track a ball over your head like that. I mean, some of us are familiar with the phrase "say hey Willie." We've seen the replay of that Willie Mays over-the-shoulder catch from all those years ago, but that is not an easy play to make, and I think you just saw it on that replay with Rig Lindblom out there in right field.
Unfortunately, 2 balls that don't go Lakewood Park's way, and Blackhawk Christian's able to take advantage of them and tie it up.
Well, today's broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Follow us on X at 260 Sports, like our Facebook page, Summit City Sports, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, it is on our YouTube channel where you can catch all our live broadcasts of regular season high school sports. Whether this time of year that should happen to be high school baseball or high school softball or boys volleyball. Called strike on the corner, and actually I believe tonight we were supposed to have the MVP basketball boys all-star game. I think Tim Atkinson's on the call for that. Swing and a miss. That's Tristan Wissing at the plate. See if we can get an update on that one. If that game was happening, I think it'd be started by now. In the dirt. Speaking of MVP basketball, Mitch Sturm was reffing at the Nancy Ream Border Wars Classic on Saturday. He was Sunday, I beg your pardon. He was reffing the boys' game. That's down and away. Of course, with MVP basketball, one of the great things about that is it is middle school athletes, but you get to see a little sneak peek as to what the future of Fort Wayne basketball just might look like. That ball is in the dirt, and the count is 3-2. Payoff pitch is in there for a called strike. That's a big strikeout for Ellington. Jonathan Lyons trying to make up for that fly ball that was hit over his head as he comes up with a man out and nobody on. He takes that on the corner. Boy, Ellington is painting these corners. He's got his brush out and he's going to work. Going for the inside corner that time. Swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Good pitch there by Ellington. 2 outs in the inning. And we're the 9-hole hitter with Rig Lindblom. Hit a sacrifice bunt.
Of course, Rig remembers what happened in the top of this inning. Fly ball hit over his head. He had to track it over his shoulder, and that was a deceptive breaking ball. Good news for Rig is it did not catch the zone. Swing and a miss.
1-1 count, 2 outs here.
Ellington's already struck out 2 hitters, and he's got a chance to make it a third in a row. Angola winner 10-0 over Westview. Here's the 1-2 delivery upstairs, and Huntington North looks like they delivered an 8-0 punishing to East Noble. Huntington North's got some real good hitters. A lot of experience, a lot of talent back from last year. DeKalb gets another W. They beat New Haven 6-0. Churubusco with a 3-2 win over West Noble. That is close, ball 4.
Yeah, so Rig Lindblom will take the walk with 2 outs. And we'll come to the top. Cohen Johnson, he's flown out to center field twice.
Columbia City a winner. They beat Belmont 4-0.
Big hole in the left center gap. So if Cohen Johnson could pull it to left center, it could be running for miles.
My apologies. I thought that Columbia City was playing Homestead. That ball's hit hard toward third. Opliger gathers. His throw is offline. And Warner could not get back on the bag.
Big poke there by Cohen Johnson's runner on first and second. Ethan Young coming to the plate.
The go-ahead runs now at second. That is going to be scored as a hit, I believe. It looks like that's hit number 6 on the board.
Yeah, tough play there. Hard hit ball. Ethan Young needs a big hit here. And you got to remember, Lakewood Park had an opportunity to score, and they got thrown out at home.
Fly ball, shallow center. Wood comes in. It's his call and his catch.
That will end the inning, and we go to the top of the 5th, 1-1, all tied here at the Parkview Field Classic.
Back after this.
Here, every athlete is one of one. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to become faster, stronger, healthier. That's our commitment. With elite training and expert care, we transform athletes by pushing through challenges and sharing every victory. PSN, you've got goals. We help you get there. Learn more at psmsports.com.
Emotions come with lies, so I tell the truth all the time. Ain't got no sympathy for no. I admit that I'm rich and I'm lit. Jumping up on stages, I get 200 a kg, but I ain't really the game up. We made shut they trap down. They see how I made it, I'm the reason they won't rap now. See me out in traffic, make a hater pull his head down. Biggie's OG salute me, a stylist can't even style me. The robbers probably wanna get me on my and I Lamborghinis. The youngest turn in my city, they try me, I get it cracked. Some of this still would happen if I never started rapping. My people don't stay.
Well, we're tied at 1 going to the 5th inning. Lakewood Park had a threat going there in the bottom half of the 4th inning, but they're unable to score, and that is still Kirtley out there on the bump going for his 4th inning of work. And yes, Columbia City did win today against Belmont, so they go to 7-3 on the year. So, yeah, it's tomorrow when they play Homestead. That's on the road for Columbia City. That'll be a big game. I'll be right here to broadcast Hicksville versus Fairview, a couple teams from Ohio, and then Trine versus Manchester, a little college baseball. That'd be our second college baseball game here at the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic this year. Blackhawk Christian has a pinch hitter at the plate, it looks like.
That's number 7, Sheldon.
Wesley Sheldon. Don't have any numbers on him from the stats, so this might be his first at bat of the season. On the ground, but foul.
Oh, coach with a great play right there. Bare hand.
Kevin Kinnison, the head coach at Blackhawk Christian. His team's been out hit in this game so far, but they haven't stopped fighting. Looks like Heritage beat South Adams 15-1. Heritage led by longtime head coach Dean Lehrman.
1-1 count. Kirtley throwing a lot of pitches. Looks like number 23 is getting
swing
loose.
And a miss.
Riker Oosley is getting loose in the bullpen for Lakewood Park.
1-2 on its way. That's in the dirt, 2-2.
Yeah, bounced it to the backstop there.
Bishop Dwenger with a 22-2 win over Northside. I think Dwenger's only loss this year was to Homestead. The 2-2 is down and in, and the count runs full on Wesley Sheldon. Again, we don't have any stats for Sheldon from this year, so this might be his first at bat of the season.
Blackhawks got a lefty loose in the bullpen down there.
Too tall, ball 4.
It's never good to walk the leadoff guy.
That was in Grant Knutson's spot. So here's Chip Bennett, the catcher. He's struck out in this game so far, but he comes up with a man on base.
Number 5 is warming up in Blackhawks bullpen.
That's Knutson, Grant Knutson. That's probably the reason why they had a pinch hitter in there.
Yeah, get him loose. He's the next man on the bump. Currently.
He's squaring to bunt. Bennett gets it down. It's a short bunt. It's going to be Young, the catcher, who makes the throw. It is in time, just by a step. But Bennett does his job. He moves the runner to second.
Good play there by Ethan Young. It's an easier play for the catcher to make that play than the left-handed pitcher. So 1 out here.
It's like another pinch hitter here for Blackhawk. This would be Wyatt Knutson's spot. But instead, it's Parker Bennett. Oh, you're right. Parker Bennett was number 2 last year. It's Cooper Joseph.
He's a freshman. You got to wonder if this is another bunt situation here. Make Lakewood Park make a play.
Pitch on its way, and that gets away. That's going to be a pass ball off Young's glove. And Wesley Sheldon into third.
Looks like we have a new third baseman out there, too. I'm trying to figure out what number he is for Lakewood Park.
Carson Joseph, I beg your pardon, not Cooper.
So the leading run is on third.
Swing and a miss. That's a big strike thrown by Kirtley. Carson Joseph is a freshman. Does not have a hit yet this year. That being said, he's only had 3 plate appearances. And he takes that one off the plate. The count runs to 3-1. The 3-1 on its way. Ball 4.
Yeah, you can see Kirtley's really laboring here in this inning. A lot of pitches tonight. Ousley's getting loose in the bullpen for Lakewood Park. How long will Coach Bowles stay with Kirtley?
This is Hudson Amstutz coming to the plate. Just a 188 hitter on the year. Does have an RBI.
He is the 9-hole hitter. So again, Blackhawks doing all the damage here in this inning with the bottom of the order.
Throw back to first. Nixon with the tag for good measure, but it does not get the out. One out, 2 on for the Braves. Top of the order is due up. Amstutz squaring to bunt. Throw comes down to second. They will not send the runner from third.
Yeah, they ran the cutoff play, so if the runner takes off, the second baseman picks it up and throws it home. Amstutz showed bunt. I do think
it was a ball.
I thought he offered.
Yeah, the umpires are going to talk about that.
I think that's what Lakewood Park is asking. He said he did pull it back.
So that is ball 1. The scoreboard here at Parkview Field does show a 1-0 count. And right now, Amstutz trying to push across a run. Infield is not in for Lakewood Park, as that pitch is taken upstairs to make it 2-0. They're not in the sense that they're not in on the grass. So just merely putting the ball in play might just be enough to get one of these runners home. But Amstutz didn't have anything to offer at there. It's 3-0.
I have a feeling that this is the last batter if he walks him here.
The count on Amstutz. Top of the order is due up next with Opliger. That's
Good
in there
pitch.
for a strike.
Excellent pitch there, 3-0. You got to throw a strike. Kirtley did it. Now can he come back with 2 more?
Runners on second and third. Amstutz trying to either get a run home or load the bases. He'll take his base. And a real threat going on here for the Braves. They've got the bases juiced. And the top of the order coming up, and Scott Bowles is headed to the mound. Looks like the Panthers are going to make a pitching change. We'll see if Bowles calls for the ball. Maybe not. Maybe just having a few words with Kirtley.
Yeah, infield's probably going to be in here. You got to get the runner out at home. It's a force out. Let's see where he puts him at.
Looks like Kirtley's staying out there. Hitter is Byron Opliger. He's 0 for 1 so far, flown out to center, popped out to third.
Looks like Gavin Shin is playing third base for Tristan Wissing. So the corners will be in.
Middle infielders are back at double play depth. Upstairs.
Yeah, Kirtley really laboring, falling off to that right side hard again.
1-0 the count as Opliger stands in.
Nowhere to put him either.
popped him up out of play. As that ricochets back toward the lower bleachers.
One count here for Kirtley. Good
That's
pitch.
in there for a called strike, 1-2.
Excellent pitch. Can he do it again?
Yeah, my apologies, folks. The MVP basketball all-star game is tomorrow.
Infield is all in, so they're playing for
the 1-2, spoiled and out of play.
That's on the roof. If Kirtley could get a strikeout here, that would be huge, wouldn't it?
It would be huge. I mean, you get to 2 outs with the bases loaded. Doesn't mean you're out of the inning, but it does mean you're pitching with just a little bit more confidence. But Opliger has other ideas. Swing and a miss.
The breaker got him.
That's a big strikeout for Kirtley.
And now there's 2 outs.
Brady Ellington 0 for 2 so far. Again, he comes up with the bases loaded.
And Brady Ellington's the pitcher of record right now, so he could help himself out.
Swing and a miss. That ball's in the dirt, but it doesn't travel very far.
Yeah, good job there by Ethan Young to keep it in front of him.
Swing and a miss. And a huge pitch coming up here for Kirtley. If he can get a strike here, it would be huge for the Panthers. 2 walks this inning.
0-2 pitch, biggest pitch of the night for Kirtley right here.
Actually, I think it was 3 walks, if I'm not mistaken. On the ground.
Oh, right at
knocked
him.
down by Kirtley. Can he make the throw? Yes! Kirtley gets out of the inning.
Huge play there by Colton Kirtley. Keeps Blackhawk from scoring with the bases loaded. They had the bases loaded with 1 out, and they escape.
That's a huge play by Kirtley, and we'll be back in just a moment. Actually, we'll stay right here because I got some more sponsors to hear from. It's because of our sponsors that we're able to bring you these broadcasts of high school sports on SummitCitySports.com. Always 100's Academy Drills and Skills is still going on till May 28th. Looks like it'll pick up again in August. Camps go on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Kids will get to develop their dribbling, shooting, passing, and defense. For more information, call Always 100 at 260-444-2788 or go to their website, www.always100basketball.net. Earn your edge this season. PSM's Edge Training Program maximizes your athleticism through personalized performance training to reach your goals and get you to the next level. Visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com/edge to schedule your free consultation. Well, what a huge play that was. And that was danger. That last at bat with Ellington at the plate, but Kirtley is able to make the play, stays with himself, and makes the throw to first. And that was a big opportunity for Blackhawk Christian. You know, they come up with the bases loaded, but can't get anybody home.
New pitchers, Grant Knutson, the lefty.
Knutson was warming up in the top of that 5th inning. That's why Kevin Kinnison pinch hit for him.
He's a senior. He's pitched 3.1 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 base on balls, 3 Ks.
He's going to face Kirtley, Anderson Moore, and Landon Stoll here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. That was a chance for Blackhawk Christian to break it open, but right now, Lakewood Park has a chance to perhaps get the go-ahead run on base as Bennett makes his throw down to second base. We are, of course, at the home of the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, Parkview Field. The Tin Caps are the minor league affiliate of the San Diego Padres, I should say the high A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. That first pitch is a strike, and while the Tin Caps are affiliated with the Padres, guys who have gone on to play for several different ball clubs have come through Fort Wayne. Guys who were drafted by the Padres and then later traded. Trey Turner, who is now with the Phillies, was once a part of the Tin Caps ball club. Of course, Turner was with the Nationals before he went to Philadelphia. C.J. Abrams, who's still with the Nationals, played here. Called strike on the corner. Kirtley goes down.
Yeah, great pitching right there. Knutson dotted the corner.
That'll send up Anderson Moore. Anderson Moore has one of the 6 hits in this game for Lakewood Park. Robert Hassel III also played here for the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Went on to play for the Nationals. I think he's still with the organization, the Nationals organization. Again, the Tin Caps are part of the Padres organization. But it's funny just how many former Tin Caps have gone on to play for the Nationals. That's at least 3 of them.
I think the Nationals have a scout that live in Fort Wayne. They just sit here and watch all the games, you know.
They might as well. That pitch misses down and away. Nationals are kind of struggling right now, but they do have some talent.
Well, it kind of makes sense because, you know, the Nationals kind of a low-market team. You get some good players, you trade them to the Padres, and you get their prospects.
Washington, D.C. is a low market.
I feel like it.
Sent foul, and the count goes to 1-2
unfortunately
on Anderson Moore.
I mean, they had some good teams back in the day, but they've struggled as of late. It's kind of like
that one gets away.
It's kind of like the Washington Bullets and Wizards. They're kind of always – there's been years where they were good, but, man, they've been bad.
And, of course, the Commanders have been up and down lately. In the playoffs 2 years ago, missed the playoffs this past year, sent foul and out of play. Now, how much of that do you want to blame on Jaden Daniels being injured? That's up to you.
Good poke there. Two balls, 2 strikes. Anderson Moore really battling here for Lakewood Park.
He's 1 for 2 in the game with a single, and he keeps battling as he sends that one off the screen. From what I'm told, Fort Wayne FC Soccer is scheduled to open their brand new stadium this Saturday. There's a swing and a miss. Grant Knutson says, "Good night, Anderson." He struck out the first 2 batters he's faced in this ball game. Landon Stoll will stand in. A new stadium that Fort Wayne FC is going to be playing in has come a long way, but having driven by it in days past, it seems like there at least was still work to do. Now maybe they'll still be able to get it done in time for opening ceremony. That pitch was called a strike. Landon Stoll 0 for 1. He's struck out and walked in this ball game so far.
Knutson just throwing strikes. 0-2 count right here.
That's way off the plate.
Good miss there. You don't want to throw something too good, 0-2. You're going to try to get him to chase.
Foul tipped it into the glove for strike 3. Bennett held on. Knutson strikes out the side. Oh, we got a 1-1 ball game going into the 6th. We'll see which of these teams can break through. Back after this on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Tired of waiting for a doctor's referral to start physical therapy? At Indiana Physical Therapy, you don't need a prescription. You have the power to choose where you go for expert care. Our experienced therapists will help you get back to doing what you love. With over 19 locations, getting the care you need has never been easier. Take the first step towards a healthier, more active lifestyle. Visit IndianaPT.com to schedule your appointment today.
Indiana Physical Therapy, where people go to get better.
Kirtley goes to first.
We do have a new pitcher on the bump for Lakewood Park. That's Riker Oosley, a freshman. And yes, I do see that Kirtley has gone over to first. But this is a chance for somebody to break through. 1-1 ball game here in the top of the sixth. Blackhawk Christian had a chance to break through, loaded up the bases in the top of the fifth. They couldn't do it, but then Grant Knutson comes back to strike out the side.
Looks like Nixon moved to left field for Johnny Lyons.
Kevin Kinnison making his way out to third base. That tends to be where the head coach stands when his team is batting. And it is Isaac Staten to lead things off for Blackhawk Christian. He did double his last time up. Eventually came in to score on Max Warner's RBI triple. That stands as the only run of the game for the Braves so far. I believe it was back in the second inning when Lakewood Park got their first run of the game, and it was. That first pitch is a strike to Staten.
Yeah, good pitch there by Oosley, coming with the off-speed pitch right away.
That's off the plate.
Comes back with a fastball.
One and one the count. By the way, if you're wondering where the Tin Caps are, they're in South Bend. Taking on the South Bend Cubs as Staten just got a piece of that pitch. Taking on the Cubs over at Four Winds Field in downtown South Bend.
Oosley's thrown in 3 games, 5.2 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, 2 base on balls, 7 Ks, and an ERA of 1.24.
Another one off the plate. That's a 2-2 count to Staten.
Staten had a big double.
Eventually came around to score on Max Warner's triple. Max is on deck.
Yeah, this is a tough batch to face against Blackhawk. These are 2 best hitters.
Oosley will step off for a moment.
For Blackhawk.
Fouled off. Staten stays alive. How appropriate that we just had Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. I guess that was his walk-up song. He did that on that last pitch. See if he can do it again. Of course, I think Staten wants to do more than just stay alive. He flares this one into right center field. Stahl with a long run, and it's down. Right in front of Lindblom. It's a base hit.
Yeah, that stayed up there for a long time.
Now, of course, at this point, the sun's maybe not gone all the way down, but starting to go down, but sometimes the lights can play tricks on you. That's the third hit of the game for Blackhawk Christian, first single of the game. They had a double and a triple. And if you're wondering who got the triple, it was the man at the plate right now, Max Warner. There goes Staten on his way to second. Throw comes down. It's on a line, but the throw skips. And Staten is safe.
Yeah, Blackhawk being aggressive here. Staten using his wheels, gets the stolen base. Now Warner, base hit, scores him.
If his mom complains why his jersey's so dirty, it's because he was running hard into second.
My mom always hated that when I came home and my jersey was dirty. She always had to use the Tide and spray. Ugh. Good old days.
Slap foul, 1-1.
You know, Thad, you got to remember, Lakewood Park had a chance to score. They sent the runner from second to home, and he got thrown out at the plate.
That would have been the difference in the ball game as well.
And you think about that. Could they have maybe not got out at home? Would that have led to a run later?
On the corner. Well located by Oosley.
It's always the what-ifs.
Now, Blackhawk Christian had one of those what-if moments. They loaded the bases in the fifth.
with one out.
Came up empty.
Yeah. Kirtley did a great job getting out of that. Now can Ousley hold it here?
Oh, they look back to second, but Staten's in. No throw.
A 1-2 count here on Warner.
On the ground to the right side. That's a bouncer to second. Johnson waits on it. He'll make the throw and get the out, but that will move Staten over to third.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good as a bunt for Warner there. Move the runner to third.
Kyler Wood, the center fielder, comes in.
Kyler's got 3 RBIs on the year. Looking for 4 here.
I don't believe he has a hit yet in this ball game. He doesn't. See what kind of lead Staten gets. It's not a very big one, but he does get a big secondary. The pitch was a ball to Kyler Wood.
Nixon is pretty deep out there in left field. I'd probably bring him in a bit.
Infield is playing in. See if they creep into the grass. Johnson crept onto the grass over at second base. The pitch was a strike.
I really am surprised how deep Lakewood Park's outfielders are.
Here's the 1-1. Slap foul and out of play. That was a late swing. Lakewood Park's had the infield in, trying to create a play at the plate. No double play in order at this point. At least
Good
not
pitch.
a routine. That was off the plate.
Yeah, it was real good, though. It looked like Young did a really good job framing that puppy. Looked like he brought it back in play. 2-2 count here on Kyler Wood. Ousley needs a great pitch right here.
Laced into left field. That'll get the job done. Kyler Wood, the go-ahead single. Staten scores. And the Braves are on top.
Yeah, that's unfortunate right there. Left it up, and Kyler Wood poked it to left field.
Well,
Blackhawk has their first lead of the game.
Grant Knutson gets to re-enter. They pinch hit for him last time around because he was warming up in the bullpen. Knutson pitched well. There goes the runner. Throw is off the plate. A high throw, and into second is Wood.
He got a great jump.
Kevin Kinnison trying to create another scoring chance. Well, he's created a chance all right. Knutson's walked a couple of times. Actually, he's walked once. They pinch hit for him last time around. Again, it's because he was warming up in the bullpen. That's ball 2. Popped up left side. A couple of guys go back,
trouble.
and that is dropped. Was it fair? It was. It was
fair.
touched in fair
Anderson
territory.
Moore.
Kinnison is going to hold Wood at third. That was not an easy play. We'll see if that's going to go as an error on Lakewood Park, their first of the game. I heard a fan say it's not where his body is, it's where the ball is. Well, that's just it. It looked like the ball was fair, maybe by just a little bit. This would be Chip Bennett's spot, but it's going to be a pinch hitter for Blackhawk Christian. It is number 20, Nolan Bainter, a freshman. Throwback to first is not in time. I won't have a chance to show you the replay just yet. Maybe after this next pitch. It is a ball, no throw. I'll show you the back end of this play. Was this ball touched in fair territory? It sure ooh, that's close. Now,
yeah,
if it's over the line, it would still be fair. Because you're in the outfield at that point.
You kind of wonder if he let that go.
There goes the runner. That is a foul ball. Knutson was off and running, and Bainter just spoiled it.
Here's the thing, Thad. If he lets that go and doesn't make contact with it, is it a foul ball?
That's the what if part of it.
Yeah, I mean, but in a game, you always want to go for the ball. So if you got to play on the ball, go make a play on the ball.
Throw back to first, and Knutsen's in again.
It's kind of like when somebody lays a bunt down and they just let it roll on the line, to see if it rolls foul. And
then there's the risk of if it rolls back into fair territory before it reaches first, it's a fair ball again.
Yeah.
There goes Knutsen. No swing this time, no throw either. Pitch was a ball. It's 2-1, and the Braves continue to threaten. And big at bat here for Bainter.
Yeah, Ousley needs a big pitch here. 2-1 count. Runners on second and third.
Bainter pops it up, and it's out of play. That'll make the count 1-2, or 2-2, I beg your pardon. Bainter does have a hit this year. He does not have an RBI. That's ball 3. Bainter's batting in Chip Bennett's spot.
Full count, 1 out here.
And Carson Joseph is on deck. Throw back to first. Wood is back. Upstairs, and the bases are loaded. Again, it's Carson Joseph coming to hit. I think he took over at second base. He's hitting in Wyatt Knutsen's spot. And now the infield looks like it's going to be in. They got Kirtley and Johnson playing in at this point. They may reset. Nope, all the infielders are going to be in. This is basically Scott Bowles saying, we want this play at the plate. There's a called strike. I should say it's Scott Bowles saying we don't want to give up another run. Lace to the left side, base hit. One run's going to score easily, and it's going to be a second run.
That's really going to open the door there.
Carson Joseph.
Big hit right there.
The 2-run single. Hudson Amstutz remains in the ball game. He'll hit here with runners on first and second. The Braves up 4-1 and looking for more. Well, they left the bases loaded in the 5th. They made well sure not to do that. There's a bunt put down to the left side. That's going to move both runners. Amstutz is thrown out. It's the second out of the inning, but the Braves still threatening. And Opliger is the next man up for Blackhawk. Opliger at the top of the order. He takes ball 1.
Yeah, it looks like Lakewood Park is at South Adams on Friday. And Blackhawk is at Northside on Thursday, and then doubleheader against Leo on Saturday.
Swing and a miss at that pitch, 1-1.
2 outs for Lakewood Park. They're down 4-1 now, so they got a big deficit to come back on in the bottom.
And Opliger's trying to make that deficit even bigger. He takes off the plate.
By Young.
And there's the throw back into third, and that one hops away for just a moment. I think that's Reese Lothamer.
Running at third, yeah. Ousley needs to get out of this here. 2-1 count right here, 2 outs.
Lace to the left, but caught it short by Moore.
Well, the damage was done there. Blackhawk picked up 3 to take the lead. They're leading 4-1, going to the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back here on SummitCitySports.com.
Here, every athlete is one of one. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to become faster, stronger, healthier. That's our commitment. With elite training and expert care, we transform athletes by pushing through challenges and sharing every victory. PSM, you've got goals. We help you get there. Learn more at psmsports.com.
So I tell the truth all the time, ain't got no sympathy for no. I admit that I'm rich and I'm lit. Jumping up on stages, I get 200 occasions, but I ain't really the game on. We made shut they trap down. They see how I made it, I'm the reason they won't rap now. See me out in traffic, make a hater pull his head down. Biggie's OG salute me, a stylist can't even stop me. The robbers probably wanna get me on mopping out Lamborghinis. The youngest turn in my city, they try me, I get it cracked. Some of this thing would happen if I never started rapping. My people don't stay.
To the bottom of the sixth we go. Blackhawk Christian just put together a 3-run sixth. And now Grant Knutson will come back out there and try to keep it that way for the Braves.
Yeah, Knutson looked really good last inning, just really dialed in right around the plate. Got a couple strikeouts.
By the way, I think Nolan Bainter is now behind the... wait a second. That might still be Bennett who went back in.
Yeah, I think they re-entered.
Yeah, I thought that was a 20 on his jersey, but no, that looks like a 1-7. Not always easy to tell, though, with the chest protector straps back there.
Andrew Nixon will lead off. He has a hit. He had a hit in that beginning of the game.
Swing and a miss. Kind of a check swing, but he did go around.
Yeah, Nixon's way off the plate there. Can't reach that outside corner.
Takes that one downstairs, 1-1. Kick in the 1-1, and that's on the ground towards second as Wyatt Knutson gathers and throws him out.
Gavin Shin will bat for the first time.
Gavin Shin, a junior, batting in the spot that was occupied by Tristan Wissing. Lakewood Park from Auburn, Indiana, and it's not a super long drive to Auburn from here. Ground ball past the mound, through third, and that might be an infield. Oh, they got him! They got him from short! I thought that was going to be an infield hit, but the throw is in time. That was Staten who made the play.
Yeah, the third baseman went all the way over there to try to get it, and Staten came up with it, made a great throw. Pretty close play at first. Riker Ousley will hit.
Ousley batting in Johnny Lyon's spot. On the corner for a called strike.
Riker's hitting .273. 3 hits on the year, 11 at-bats.
Big hole up the middle. Should he go that way, he slaps it foul. Of course, the thing about that is you can plan to hit the ball up the middle and end up hitting it just a little bit to the right or just a little to the left. Just like how you can plan, if you're a right-handed hitter, to hit the opposite field when you got a runner on second. Still end up pulling it. It looked like a good pitch. It was bobbled, and perhaps a good thing that it wasn't called a strike, because then Bennett's got to regather himself and throw down to first. Count is 2-2. On the corner, and Knutson sets him down 1-2-3.
Yeah, Knutson looks pretty good, dialed in, and we go to the 7th.
Lakewood Park needs to hold them off and give themselves a chance to come back. We will come back in 40 seconds.
Game day, the moment athletes live for, the intensity, the passion, the unforgettable plays, And while you focus on the game, Watermark Sports Photo captures the memories. From the heart-pounding action to the game-winning score, our game day photos make your athlete the star. But we don't stop at game day. With our Sportrait sessions, together we dream up poses and take your athlete's story to the next level. Serving Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio, from colleges to high schools and club sports, moments fade, but the memories last forever. Watermark Sports Photo, where every shot is legendary.
Well, what Blackhawk Christian is trying to do is get a little extra insurance here in the top of the 7th. Lakewood Park is trying to keep this 3-run game intact, give themselves a chance to come back in the bottom of the 7th. Lakewood Park has the advantage in hits. They've had 6 hits. Blackhawk Christian has 5. However, on the scoreboard, it's Blackhawk leading 4-1. And, you know, they had that missed opportunity there in the 5th with the bases loaded, but they came back and got the first run to take a 2-1 lead there in the 6th. Loaded up the bases, got 2 more. So Blackhawk didn't waste the chance in the 6th. They bounced back, and now here they are holding on to a lead. That's Ousley still out there on the mound. Yeah, it is Ousley, the freshman, after Kirtley started this game on the mound for Lakewood Park. And there is the throwdown from behind the plate from Ethan Young. This will be Brady Ellington to lead things off for Blackhawk Christian. It'll be Ellington, Staten, and Warner. Staten just made a great throw from short to get the second out in the bottom of the 6th.
Brady Ellington hitting .471, the senior.
He's hitless in this game so far.
Kyler Wood had the big hit to drive in the leading run last inning. I believe the umpire went somewhere, or they
went over to the Blackhawk dugout.
Yeah, I think they made some adjustments.
Down and away for ball 1 as we start the 7th inning. Ousley trying to keep it right here at a 3-run ball game. Give Lakewood Park a chance in the bottom of this inning for a comeback, but that breaking pitch does catch the zone. Slap foul. And that breaking pitch is in the dirt.
Makes it a 2-2 count. Ousley could use a strikeout right here, get ahead with the first batter.
The man on deck has done plenty of damage today. Isaac Staten, 2 for 3, a double, a single, a couple of runs scored. That breaking pitch misses outside, and we got a full count.
He's played some really good defense, too. Definitely a candidate for Parkview Sports Medicine Player of the Game.
There's a lot of candidates. Ball 4, and it's a leadoff walk to Brady Ellington. Staten will come up. Again, 2 for 3, a couple of runs scored. Double and a single, and he had that great throw from short. I got the second out in the bottom of the 6th. Throw back to first, and Ellington is in. There goes Ellington. Throw looks a bit high. Good throw, but it skips. And they don't get the tag. Looked like it was on a line, but Moore just couldn't make the play.
Yeah, Ethan Young's throws have been pretty accurate.
Now Scott Bowles looks like he's headed out, perhaps to the mound. Wonder if he's going to check on Ousley here.
Well, I think Cohen Johnson fell down, but I think maybe they're going to go to Cohen Johnson's going to come out of the game.
Yeah, he's walking towards the dugout, so they'll need a replacement second baseman.
Looks like Haberman came in.
Right now the count is 1-0.
Looked like Cohen Johnson took a spill on the backup.
Let's see if we can see what happened here on this replay.
Only thinking is the grass is wet out there. Looks like he takes a spill.
Yeah, he slips and falls on the outfield grass, so that's what happened to Johnson.
You can kind of see the divot out there. Grounds crew's not going to be happy about that. They'll get it up and fixed by next week.
I think they got a new head of grounds crew these days. Keith Winter, the longtime grounds crew chief, retired. That ball's grounded to the right side, and the throw from Ousley appears to be in time. It is. Kirtley got his foot back on the bag.
Yeah, Kirtley
made out number one.
Kirtley made that look interesting. He was really kind of in the line of the runner. That's the first out of the inning with Blackhawk. Another opportunity on third here. Can they drive him in?
Max Warner. An RBI triple earlier in this ball game. That got the Braves on the board. That's a big lead over there at second, and Ellington dancing his way between third and home. I said second. He was at third. And he was kind of dancing his way down that third base line. 1-0 the count. One man on, one man out. Swing and a miss. Warner got fooled by that breaking ball. That's bounced foul, and that'll make it a 1-2 count. Well, I'm tempted to say, look what the Cardinals are doing to the Pirates, and they are up 11-3 in that game, but the Pirates have two men on with only one out in the bottom of the eighth, so let's not call it a ball game yet. Lifted to right field.
That's
Lindblom
trouble.
looking to make a play, and he won't. It gets by him. That's extra bases. Warner's going to dig for third. He's gotten there once already, and he will get there again, and he's going for home. He wants the inside the park homer. He's in. Inside the park two-run homer, Max Warner.
Yeah, misplay right there by the right fielder. Allowed Max Warner to get the extra bases. Kyler Wood had the big hit last inning.
It's 6-1 Blackhawk.
Got to remember, Lakewood was up 1-0 heading into the fourth inning.
That ball skips in the dirt, but there was nobody on.
It's tied 1-1. I mean, you think about both teams have 6 hits, but Blackhawk sure has the more bigger extra base hits. I mean, most of their hits have been deep into the outfield. A lot of Lakewood Parks have not been very deep.
Well, they've been able to take advantage with runners in scoring position. Count is 2-0 here on Wood. And boy, Ousley has not had his command the last couple of pitches. His teammates trying to cheer him on from the dugout. That's in there for a strike. Count goes to 3-1, I beg your pardon. That is a foul ball. Nice reach by the Blackhawk first base coach. Count goes to 3-2. Kyler Wood Plays basketball as well as baseball. Line drive, right side, base hit. Kyler Wood gets on again. That's going to send Knutson to the plate. Well, like I said, you can't call it a game yet between the Pirates and the Cardinals. It went from being 11-3 to 11-6. That's over in Pittsburgh, by the way. Knutson puts down a bunt, slow roller. Young's throw to first is in time. He'll get the out there, but that advances the runner.
Yeah, 2 outs in the inning.
And Chip Bennett is due up next. He will hit. Of course, if you're a Cubs fan, they haven't started playing yet. They're in San Diego. Wood taken off, going for third. Throw gets away. Wood slipped out of the box, but he's going to come home, and he's in. A 3-run inning for the Braves. How about the aggressiveness on the bases by Kyler Wood? Chip Bennett still at the dish, 2 down, and that one hits him. A tough inning for Lakewood Park continues.
Yeah, things are really unraveling here. A big 6th and 7th inning for Blackhawk.
Carson Joseph had an RBI single his last time up, 2-run single as I recall, and it looks like Scott Bowles is going to make a change. And I'd say he's doing some coaching right about now.
Yeah, I think he wants them to pitch out of this. He's got 2 outs. Don't want to burn another pitcher here.
I'm not sure what exactly he was signaling with those hand signals, but yeah, all I can say about it is he was doing some coaching.
Coach Bowles is a pretty passionate, positive guy.
I think he has a little nickname for you, Steve. He called you Orpheus.
Orpheus, huh?
Yep. All big jump. Joseph fouls it off. Joseph came in a pinch-hitting situation. This would be his 3rd at bat of the ball game.
Oh-1 right now. Ousley needs to get out of this.
That's in the dirt.
Great job there by Ethan Young, keep it in front.
Well, I mentioned the Nationals earlier, so I'll go ahead and say this. They're down 8-0 to the Mets. Laced into left field. Well, Carson Joseph, in a replacement role, gets himself another knock. Batting in Wyatt Knutson's spot. I believe he's got 2 hits. And I think we're getting another pinch hitter. Kevin Kinnison over to explain it. That is number 6, Eli Godfrey. I don't see any stats for Godfrey this season. He is a sophomore, but he comes up with an RBI chance. And he takes a breaking ball up and away. And we also talked about Don Mattingly taking over as the Phillies manager. I saw that the Phillies, they were up 7-0, and now it's officially a ball game. There's the throw back to second, and that tag is not in time.
They had him. Had he thrown it earlier, they would have had him picked. Yeah, and speaking of Phillies, 10-cap manager Anthony Contreras, third base coach now.
That's a pretty big gig.
Man, I think he was just out here a couple years ago, and now he's at the bigs.
Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that is bounced foul. course, there's some Indiana connections with the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, Kyle Schwarber, he may be an Ohio native, but, of course, he played his college ball for the Indiana Hoosiers. That's in there for a called strike.
Can Oosley get out of this?
3 runs across this inning for the Braves. And how about some timely runs? 3 runs in the 6th, 3 more here in the 7th. That's a big lead. Swing and a miss. Godfrey went around.
Lakewood gets out of it, but a lot of damage done the last 2 innings. It's 7-1. Blackhawk going to the bottom of the 7th. We'll take a break and be right back here on SummitCitySports.com.
Here, every athlete is one of one. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to become faster, stronger, healthier. That's our commitment. With elite training and expert care, we transform athletes by pushing through challenges and sharing every victory. PSM, you've got goals. We help you get there. Learn more at psmsports.com.
So I tell the truth all the time, ain't got no sympathy for no. I admit that I'm rich and I'm lit. Jumping up on stages, I get 200 occasions, but I ain't really the game up. We make sure they trap down. They see how I made it, I'm the reason they won't rap now. See me out in traffic, make a hater pull his head down. Biggie's OG salute me, a stylist can't even style me. The robbers probably wanna get me on hopping out Lamborghinis. The youngest turn in my city, they try me, I get it cracked. Some of this still would happen if I never started rapping. My people don't.
Grant Knutson is back out there trying to finish off a game where his Blackhawk Christian Braves lead it 7-1. I do have some more words to get in from our sponsors. We have several sponsors to give recognition to. Jolly Law Firm is the area's best criminal defense firm, helping defend the accused from the government, whether you're facing an OWI or any other criminal accusation. Jolly Law Firm is the answer. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration, providing commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. Lucas Tron will get his first at-bat of the game. He's come in some courtesy running situations, and that is an early swing out in front of that breaking ball. Well, curveballs can be deceptive. In fact, not just can be, they're meant to be deceptive. That one from Knutson certainly was. And did that hit him, or did that ricochet off Bennett's glove?
I think it went off his glove. He ducked right underneath it.
1-1 the count on Lucas Tron. And that one gets away. It's early in the inning. This is only the first batter of the frame, but this is not where, as a pitcher, you want to be losing your command. Can Knutson get it back? He did on that pitch. The 2-2 fouled off. Swing and a miss. Knutson battles back to get that strikeout.
Knutson's been so good in relief for Blackhawk tonight.
Knutson's been real solid on the mound. Gets a huge strikeout early on this inning. This is Haberman. He's been a courtesy runner in this game a couple of times, and he takes a first pitch strike. That's way upstairs. Count runs even. One on its way, and that looked like a fastball that missed down and in. Panthers came into this game with just one win on the season. Started out looking pretty solid. But Blackhawk Christian has made the plays late in the game, gotten the timely hits. And you add in some mistakes on the part of the Panthers. Swing and a miss. And now the Panthers are down to their last out.
Haberman goes down.
Rig Lindblom coming up.
This is Ethan Young, I believe.
I thought that was a two. If it is Young, it'd be number 3 on the jersey.
Yep, Kirtley's on deck, I believe. No, somebody else is on deck.
Throw got wide. Went down to second base where Wyatt Knutson was.
Oh, Jacob Lyons is on deck.
Bounced foul. Lyons started the game in left field. Excuse me, that was Johnny Lyons. This is Jacob Lyons on deck. Ethan Young does have a hit in this ball game. It was a single. That's grounded foul. Scott Bowles gets out of the way of that one. And it's an 0-2 count, and now the Panthers are down to their last strike. That's downstairs.
Real close there. Ethan Young got caught looking once already.
It's one of those plays where, as an ump, you'd probably like to call it a strike and call it a night, but you also got to call it a fair game. Swing and a miss. That ball's in the dirt. Throw comes down to first. There's your ball game. Blackhawk Christian wins it 7-1.
Yeah, where Lakewood led 1-0 going into the fourth, and they tied it up 1-1. And then a big 6th and 7th inning for Blackhawk Christian.
7-1, the Blackhawk Christian Braves win it, their third victory of the season. Well, it's time to award our Parkview Sports Medicine Player of the Game, and I think just like our first game, it's going to be a shared honor, only this time between two players. I think deserving of that honor today are deserving of that honor are Kyler Wood and Max Warner. Wood, great base running, great hitting today. Staten, Warner, a couple of RBIs, a triple, and a inside the park home run. So Max Warner and Kyler Wood are going to be your Parkview Sports Medicine players of the game. Yeah, Warner with the RBI triple, inside the park home run. Kyler Wood did get an RBI, also ran the bases extremely well. A little prayer circle being given here at home plate, so we'll pause for that. These are two Christian schools, Blackhawk Christian right here in Fort Wayne. They, are connected to Blackhawk Ministries. Lakewood Park Christian School in Auburn, they're connected to Lakewood Park Baptist Church out in Auburn. Tonight, it is Blackhawk Christian who's the winner, 7-1 over Lakewood Park. And Steve, early in the game, Lakewood Park had the lead, but Blackhawk Christian never backed down. They got runners on base and struggled through being no hit for a while, but they got the hits when it mattered.
Yeah, and you know what? I would say that Blackhawk Christian's pitching was phenomenal. Brady Ellington and Grant Knutson holding Lakewood Park to 1 run. They just came up big, especially Grant in relief. He came in, was tied 1-1, and he got the job done. He gets the win for Blackhawk tonight. I thought the pitching for Blackhawk was very good.
Indeed it was, as Blackhawk Christian gets their third victory of the season. That's going to do it for tonight from here at the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic at Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'll be back here tomorrow as Hicksville takes on Fairview. A couple of Ohio teams coming to Fort Wayne to play some baseball at Parkview Field, and then we'll have Trine University versus Manchester University right after that. For Steve Orth and my cameraman Matt Jackson, this is Thad Goff saying so long from Parkview Field. You've been watching the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic here on SummitCitySports.com. Good night, everybody.
Game day, the moment athletes live for, the intensity, the passion, the unforgettable plays, and while you focus on the game, Watermark Sports Photo captures the memories. From the heart-pounding action to the game-winning score, our game day photos make your athlete the star. But we don't stop at game day. With our Sportrait sessions together, we dream up poses and take your